There is one common mistake I see most buyers make, and that is buying with emotion. Buying a property is emotional. I get it. It's your first home, or you're finally settling down in your dream location, or you're buying for your family. But if you let emotions lead, you may not see it now, but it can literally cost you a few $100,000, and I'm not exaggerating. Hi everyone, this is Yvette and welcome back to my channel. If you enjoy this kind of content and want to see more of such topics, feel free to like, share and subscribe. Or if you're at the crossroads right now, unsure of your property decisions, not sure which property to buy, what to look out for, you may also scan the QR code over here to reach out to me for a detailed consultation. So in this video, I'm going to show you two real case studies, one of which where with the same budget, one project made $280,000 and the other made $618,000. Same market, same period, but very different outcomes. So what caused the gap? From what I see on the ground, almost every buyer tells me this: I'm buying for investment, but also a bit for own stay. And that right there is where things start to go wrong without you even realizing it. Because when you try to balance both 50-50, 60-40, you end up making compromised decisions. You choose a unit you like very much instead of one that actually performs for you. So what I tell my clients is very simple. You don't have to decide everything right now, but you must prioritize one over the other. Either you optimize for your own stay needs, whether is it for your lifestyle, your dream location, your immediate needs for now, or you go for maximum potential returns. Or if let's say you're buying for investment, you have to prioritize whether is it rental yield or capital gain that you are looking out for more. Because in these situations, you can never do both equally. And that one decision will affect your entry price, your unit choice, and ultimately your exit. So bring you into the case study number 1, same district, but why is it that one profited 2 times more than the other? For own stay convenience, can I say that you may want a home next to MRT, next to shopping mall, that is easier for your daily commute, such as sending your kids to school, or maybe you don't drive. One example that I have for you today is Sengkang Grand Residences versus Riverfront Residences. Both of these projects are in District 19, both launched and completed around the same time. Sengkang Grand Residences, let me zoom you in as to where is it. It is an integrated development that is directly linked to Buangkok MRT, your shopping mall, your hawker center, community center, everything downstairs right at your doorstep. Whereas for Riverfront Residences over here, it is not near MRT. Honestly, getting around can be a little inconvenient with limited public transport unless you drive. So logically, in this case scenario, if it were you, which would you choose? Logically, most people would choose Sengkang Grand Residences, right? But now let's take a step back and we look at the numbers, because when I sort the transactions by profitability, I noticed that Sengkang Grand Residences, the profit ranges largely from $300,000 to $400,000, the most being $577,000. Whereas for Riverfront owners, the difference is very big. Over here, you see that average about $700,000-$800,000, the most being $966,000. The profit right here between the two projects is almost double. Then the question is, what caused this difference? It comes down to entry price. So besides profit alone, right, we got to look at how much these owners enter at. Coming back to Sengkang Grand Residences, the owners here enter at an average of over here, $1,600 to $1,700 per square foot. Whereas for Riverfront, you can see from here, they bought in at $1,200 to $1,300 per square foot. Then let me put you into perspective. For Sengkang Grand Residences back in 2018, as I mentioned earlier, 2019, the owners here entered at how much? $1,600 to $1,700 per square foot. In order for them to gain a significant profit, something that they are willing to sell at At what price point do they have to sell to? Can I say probably around 1,009, 2,000 in order for them to walk away with a decent profit? But however, back in those days, right, in District 19, Sengkang, Punggol, Hougang area, can I say that this price point was never heard of before? 2,000 per square foot, are you crazy? It has never been transacted, it has never been seen before in the market. So these owners, when they buy at 1,600, 1,700, hoping to sell at 1,009, 2,000, what are they wishing for? Hoping that the price point will reach this high, hoping that the market will move forward in the way that they want to. But however, if you ask me, when there is such hope, there comes risk. Whereas for Riverfront, right, again, how much did they enter at? They entered at 1,200 to 1,300 per square foot. Can I say that Riverfront owners easily, they just have to sell at whatever Sengkang Grand owners have paid for, and they would be able to walk away with a decent profit? They don't have to dream, they don't have to hope for a higher price point for a new benchmark. They just have to sell at whatever price point the market has already accepted, has already transacted in the market. So this is why I say the entry price is very important. Entering at a safe price can guarantee your exit. Of course, none of us have crystal ball. That is why we need to delve into the data, into the statistics, and do a deeper dive analysis in terms of what may work for us. So yes, Sengkang Grand Residences wins on lifestyle and convenience, but Riverfront wins on numbers and exit strategy. Because remember, most important thing is the safe entry price. So this option may be less attractive upfront, but far more powerful in terms of exit when we look at the facts and data. So moving on to case study number 2. Earlier on, we looked at the same district, different product. Now, let me show you another example where we have the same budget but completely different districts. Here, we compare Amber Park versus Riverfront again. Back in 2021, with the same budget, about $1.7 to $1.8 million. Especially if you are buying for own stay, more often than not, you'll be looking for instant gratification. Your dream location, something that you can move in soon. If it were you, freehold, East Coast, lifestyle, you might choose Amber Park. And honestly, on the contrary, you might feel that Riverfront is a bit ulu, and perhaps it's even somewhere that you may not even consider staying. But let's break it down step by step. At Amber Park, that budget gets you a 2-bedroom, not too bad for a young couple or small family. But at Riverfront, the same budget gets you a 4-bedroom at 1,004 square feet. When you buy back then, you may not think much because you're thinking, it's for own stay anyway. But however, a few years later, when plans change and you decide to sell, that's when the numbers start to differ a lot. Because right here, Amber Park, entering in April 2021, bought in at approximately $1.7 million. So at how much? At close to $2 million. That's about, round up, about $300,000 in terms of profit. Whereas for Riverfront, bought in at a similar price point, similar time also, because we got to compare apple-to-apple comparisons, bought in at $1.83 million, but managed to exit at $2.45 million. And that's where you start to see the profit is vastly different. One is at $280,000, the other one close to $620,000. But if you look closely, both of these properties gain about $400 per square foot. So this is where size matters, because the same $400 per square foot, when you times this 700 square feet versus you times 1,004 square feet, that's why the profit difference becomes so big. I want to bring you one level deeper, because your entry a few years back will affect your exit today, will also affect your next move afterwards. So for Amber Park owner, right, taking into account your down payment put in the first place, plus whatever profits that you have gained, your next purchase could be capped at $2.4 million. Whereas for Riverfront, because the profit is so much bigger, even though you started at the same price point at the first place, your next jump could go up to $3.5 to $3.7 million. And that is why you can see the quantum really has a very big leap. And can I say that if you were to buy Riverfront, this 4-bedroom, with the intention of buying for investment without even thinking of staying there, that is where you can potentially sell, make a decent amount of profits, and then from there, finally buy into your dream home. And that is what I mean by delayed gratification, making your money work harder for you at first, buying something for investment, because can I say that for investment, location doesn't matter at all, and perhaps it might be even at a place such as Riverfront, a place that you never even think about staying there, because from there, after you make your money, right, and then you later on, it's easier for you to settle down into what you truly want. Perhaps a 3-bedroom at Emerald Park, that could also be a future next option. And that's how one decision today compounds into your long-term wealth. So yes, buying a property is emotional. But if you let emotion drive the decision, you might be limiting your upside without even realizing it. And that's why you need someone who can see the market objectively, break down your numbers, your needs, and then guide you based on strategy and not feelings. So if you are currently exploring your options, whether is it for own stay or investment, feel free to drop a message to me down below and let's map out your position properly. So thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.